Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Gebo the Shaman, and today we are talking about something a little bit different today. So, not the usual astrology stuff that I usually do, but rather I want to talk about the mysteries of the universe. What is God? What do we what what is, I guess, my perspective on God? So that's what I'll be sharing. So, in in the Western culture, we have the Christian God, the Abrahamic God, that the Jews, the Muslims, and the Christians all worship, and this is a very defined God. It's very limited. It's monotheistic, right? So we have a monotheistic God, and it's perceived as, by many people, an old man in the sky that's shaking his finger at you, that you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do this, and you're not good enough to make it to heaven, and things like that. And so my perspective of God is a lot different than that. So I'm not going to get into religion and the falsities behind that, because that's a video in and of itself. The manufactured Abrahamic God. Alright, but yeah, I just like to talk about some different ideas of God, and it's interesting how everybody has their own version of God. Even atheists, they'll say, oh, there's like the evolutionary creation and things like that. Yeah, there's so yeah, so basically in my journey on the 12 steps, I step 2 is like, well, step 2 and 3 are tied together, so it's like believing that a power outside of yourself could restore you to sanity, and then 3 made a decision to turn your will and life over to the care of God as you understand God. So it doesn't say the Abrahamic God. It doesn't say the Muslim God, the Jewish God, the whatever. It says a God of your own understanding. So that really got me thinking about, what do I perceive God to be? Because there's times in my life where I felt differently about God. I, coming out of my Christian programming, I was raised Christian. So coming out of that programming, I just didn't want to have anything to do with God. Any God. This is something that I was talking with my group about, was that I was copying and pasting the negative attributes, the negative qualities of my mom and the Christian God onto my higher power or God in adulthood. So yeah, I'm still trying to overcome and work through that Christian programming about being shameful, about being, you know, I mean, even Catholic, even the Catholic Church I grew up in, said like it was a pretty common belief in that church. In I don't remember the things regarding it, but they basically said that disabled people, like the reason that you're disabled is because of your parents' sins, and that disabled people, this is their words, they said that disabled people are basically irredeemable. And myself being a disabled person, I felt like, well, what am I even doing in this church? If I can't experience God, a connection with God for myself. If I'm quote unquote irredeemable, then what am I even doing here? So that left me with a lot of guilt and shame about me, about myself not being good enough for God. And that's such a limiting and just it's so detrimental. Sorry, guys. My nose is really itching. So yeah, that kind of system where you have to earn your worth by what you do and what you believe and what you things like that. So anyway, so that kind of gives you a background of where I came from. And it's taken me quite a while to actually perceive myself as someone who is worthwhile, as someone who is worthy of God's love, of God's time, energy, attention, and everything like that. So yeah, but so it was quite a contrast going from that monotheistic Christian centric God to creating a God of my own understanding and a God that I perceive as actually like a God that I want to have. A God that I want to have and that I perceive is actually loving and caring about me. That shift took a very long time and I'm still kind of working on that. So in the polytheistic tradition, like I'm a Vedic astrologer, I am a shaman. That also means that I am an animist. So the word shaman is just an animist priest, basically. And someone who communicates with polytheistic deities and things like that. So anyway, and I hesitate even calling myself a shaman. However, that's where I want to be. That's what I wanted to be. That's what I want to do. And so I'm calling myself that, so that's what I'll work towards. Anyway, so polytheism. So in polytheism, I work with the Norse pantheon and the Vedic deities. So, if let's say, it's kind of almost like calling upon a god that I need in that moment. It's a god for everything. So, if I need wisdom, if I need knowledge, if I need understanding, clarity, I would call on Odin or Shiva. If I need that motherly love, I would call on Frigg or Freya or Lakshmi, something like that. Saraswati, something like that. So, there's deities for everything that I could ever need, and it's so there's this thinking in Western culture. It has to be defined, it has to be logical. God has to be defined, it has to be logical, it has to be something clear and understandable, and that something that makes sense to the intellect. And I totally understand that wanting to have just a clear concept of what God is and what God is not. That intellect, that delineation, but we're using our intellect, which is 3D. It's a 3D. It's how we make sense of our 3D reality. But we're using that to make sense of higher dimensions. But that doesn't make sense. The intellect is only good for 3D. The heart center, however, is good for every other dimension. Our soul lives in all dimensions. So, the Vedic tradition and the Norse tradition, the Indo-European traditions, had a very holographic view of the universe, of what God was. My teacher used to, he says this all the time. You can go fly to India, ask your average Indian person, your average Hindu or Indian person, is Ganesha a living being? Did he incarnate on this earth? And they'll say, oh yes, Ganesha, he incarnated, and all that. And then you'll ask them in the same breath, well, isn't Ganesha just a symbol for our unconscious mind and for goodness and things that are good and things like that? So they'll say, oh yes, Ganesha is just a symbol as well. So it can be both. So this is that holographic 5-dimensional view of the world. Ganesha can be a physical incarnation and can be a archetype. So there's this like, this like holographic kind of multidimensional, multifaceted thinking that it's just that's what I gravitate to. that it can, there's no rules. There's no rules. You can make it whatever you want it to be. Like I said, if I need a mother, I need a loving mother figure, I would call on Frigg or Freya, or Saraswati or Lakshmi, something like that. If I need a father figure, I'll call on Odin or Shiva. If I want to feel like a kid, if I need to have fun and lighten up, I'll call on Ganesha. So, things like that. If I need boundaries, if I need to strengthen my sense of identity and boundaries, I'll call on Thor or Indra. Indura. That's the same. These are the same deities with different names, essentially. So yeah, the Indo-European traditions. What else did I want to say? So, that holographic thinking, like, it doesn't have to be black and white, it can be both. It can be grayscale. It can be it can be not grayscale. I mean, it can be like black and white television compared to a color television kind of thing. So yeah, this ties back to making a god of your own understanding. And in the 12 steps, the thing that I love about that is there's no need to believe in a Christian God. There's no, like, in the 50s and 60s, that's what they had when they were first forming the group. When they were first forming, like, AA and stuff, it was just, God, like, monotheistic God. However, in the years since, they've kind of changed that to be anything that you want it to be, and I love that. So it's there's and then so you can make God whatever you want it to be, and the truth is that you do have someone watching over you all the time. Whether we call this a spirit guide, a guardian angel, a fetch spirit, like a filter, like a spirit animal, things like that. But then if we, like, I've been doing what's called CE5, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, and it's just it is insane because I grab my ham radio, like a little two-way, not a two-way radio, it's a little bit more sophisticated than that, but essentially just a two-way radio, and I turn it on and I set it on my desk, and then I do qigong and I do meditations where I'm going beyond Earth's atmosphere, calling on interdimensional beings, and then a few minutes later my radio goes off. I have I have a video, maybe I'll post it on this channel. I have a video on my other channel that is vincent.thunderwizard.com. If you can look that up, I might post it in the links down below, but so that just showed me that experience, that CE5 experience, showed me that I can communicate with interdimensional beings. Like, And the other thing about that experience was that the radio remained silent all day. All day I had it on from the moment I woke up, all day, and then I did CE5 at night. The radio was silent all day, but the moment that I did my CE5 and my Qigong together, I do recommend doing them together. The radio started going off like crazy. And there's no possible way that I can do that. So maybe I'll do a video exclusively on CE5, but yeah, I just wanted to throw that in here. Because here's the thing. There are beings in higher dimensions that are looking out for you. This is what we call a higher self. Or, it's interesting how your soul can be manifested in 3D, but then have these other layers on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9D. And so even though you feel trapped and alone and scared and limited on 3D, even though you feel that way on 3D, you can always turn to higher aspects of your soul, the higher dimensional, higher self. You can, and this is what CE5 is teaching me, is that, like, these are different aspects of my soul. It's a very holographic and multidimensional way of looking at things. And the truth is, like, there are no, people talk about there being like reptilian aliens and whatever. Like evil aliens and evil, things that will try to hurt you if you go astral project into their realm. Well, the truth is, 99% or no, 100%. If you are experiencing those things, you basically asked for them on an unconscious level. They're on higher dimensional beings. When you're truly communicating with higher dimensional beings, there's absolutely nothing to be scared of. Literally, negative beings cannot rise to 5D. Their energy weighs them down to 3D. There is no way that they can go to 5D and up. So this is just like I don't know, just trying to like explain things and flesh things out for you guys and in my own mind kind of thing. It's interesting. But anyway, yeah. So there's no negativity in other dimensions. And so the moment that you start connecting with these quote-unquote aliens, or which are truly just interdimensional beings, higher dimensional beings, the moment that you start communicating with them is the moment that they will open up to you. Yeah, like, I can't take back I can't take back what I've done. The contact experiences that I have, can't take them back. They have forever changed my life. Like, my whole perspective on the world is different now that I've had those experiences with them. So mixing this concept of what is God with my CE5 stuff, it's just like, wow. It's like, it's just a new understanding that we're all coming into, and the solar flash, the solar wave, that people are talking about in New Age circles, that's coming. So I have a lot to look forward to. We all do. We all have a lot to look forward to in the near future. So for the conspiracy theorists, the people who are predicting the end of the world, it might end in some capacities. However, it will be, there's going to be a massive expansion, a massive shift in our collective consciousness, and it's just going to be heaven on earth pretty soon. So, and I feel very silly saying this, and I feel very, self critical of myself saying this. Like, inside of me, I'm going, you probably should just shut up and end the video right now, but but I'm not. And it's, whether I want to believe it or not, it's happening. It's just like that, the thing, the laws of the universe. So, gravity exists whether we know about it or whether we believe in it or not. Something that my teacher often says is, belief isn't required. If you take the steps to connect with higher dimensional beings, it doesn't matter if you believe in them or not, they're going to show up. Now, they might manifest themselves differently for you. However, it's they will show up. So I would highly recommend, if you're interested in anything like this that I've shared, try CE5. It's CE5, and you can just Google that. You can get the CE5 app if you like. I'm not promoting that, just something to look into. What else? So yeah, that thing about the laws of the universe, they exist whether you like it or not. Multidimensional beings, interdimensional beings, they do exist, and I've had personal experiences with them, and you can like that or you cannot like that. You can like that they exist or not like that they exist, or not believe that they exist. Belief isn't required. Whether you believe in them or don't believe in them doesn't really matter. Belief is not required. It's a and I'm not trying to convince anybody either. I've had personal experiences that I just can't explain. So, let's see. So, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. So, if you are interested in anything that I have to offer, any of my products, courses, services, anything like that, I'm just checking the time to see how long I've rambled on. So if you're interested in anything that I have to offer up here, you can go to gebotheshaman.com and check it out. If you are interested in the certification course, then the Vedic Astrology Certification course. I have 3 participants, 3 students who have purchased that course so far. Very happy, very proud. And yeah, so if you're interested in that course, then you can join it. It's a self-paced video course, and when you pass my certification exam, I will go ahead and give you your own website so you can become a certified professional Vedic astrologer. So it comes with its own website, and you can, you can take that business as far as you want to go. You can, basically, you can take it as far as you want to go. You can make it just a side income, or you can become a full, professional Vedic astrologer. Like, you can do it full time. You can take it as far as you like. So it just depends on your hard work, though. And then we have the Vedic astrology readings. So I have my standard reading, and then I have readings where I talk about your career and your relationships. So if you want a good spiritual practice to do every day, if you want to connect with God and have a spiritual practice that connects you with it, then I would highly recommend you get a astrology reading. That in that astrology reading, I will tell you the planet and the deity that is best for you to work with. So I would highly recommend that. And then we have another spiritual practice, daily practice, is the self-transformation challenge here. So if you do that, you will, just totally transform your psychology, your identity, your spirituality. Like, everything will shift up to the next level if you do that course for 90 days. I'm saying 90 days, but really, I've done it every day for 2 years. So yeah, it does take time. However, it is the fastest way to, in my opinion, to achieve psychological transformation and spiritual evolution. And just, it's so powerful, guys. Anyway, then we have the birth time rectification. So if you are not sure what your birth time is exactly, then I would highly recommend that you go to gebotheshaman.com and get a birth time rectification. Something that I do, unlike other astrologers in general, I make sure to get it to within 1 minute of your actual birth time. So, it's a lot of astrologers will just give you a 10-minute window and say, okay, this is your 10-minute window, and that's good enough. No, that 10-minute window is not good enough. A lot of things can change within the span of that 10 minutes. Especially if you're looking at your divisional charts, your D60, your D30, D27, D10, it's a lot of things change. So anyway, then we have the distance energy healing, and that is great for emotional healing, psychological healing, physical healing. A lot of people just think that that's for physical healing. Well, it's not. 99% of all illnesses and things like that start from a emotional and psychological beginning. So, and I am not a doctor. I'm just stating this from my uneducated perspective. But don't quote me on that. But in my experience, it's like in a shamanic way of thinking, all these illnesses start from the emotions that we've trapped, the emotions that we've suppressed and kept down. They have to manifest somehow. They have to release that energy somehow. So they do it by wreaking havoc on your body. And then we have the career coaching and the life coaching. So if you are interested in finding your life purpose, then your path, your purpose, your passion, your interests, your hobbies, things like that, you can make money off of anything these days. Anything. You could do anything, really. I mean, it's so easy to make money these days. It's incredible. The internet is such a beautiful thing. And so in that career coaching and life coaching, I'll tell you how to make money by doing what you love. And if you don't know what you love yet, that's a great time to find out, because I'll lead you on this meditation, this like shamanic journey to go find your what you love, your passions, your purposes, your path in life. So yeah, I highly recommend that. And then we have the Qigong courses. So I talked about this one. This combines Kundalini Yoga, which you can see me doing there. That stretches a yoga posture. And then it combines Kundalini Yoga, Qigong, and the energy of the heart center, and meditations. So there's a meditation in here. There's the Qi energy. There's the Kundalini energy. There's the heart center energy. It's a synchronized approach to getting these energies of the body working synergistically to help you propel you towards what your soul wants to do in life. So that's what that's for. And then we have the that's it. So oh yeah, I was going to talk about this. The Cosmic Qigong, that's a great beginner's course, and it's great because those seem like very simple, very easy postures and exercises. However, if you do them consistently every day, they will change your life in a profound way. Just trust me, like they're some of the most easiest postures. However, they are some of the most advanced. So don't conflate easy with beginners, with a beginner practice, because even highly trained Qigong masters still do those energetic exercises in that video. Alrighty guys, so I guess that's it for today, so we will talk to you next time. Peace.